Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. There's websites on the back here, or the bottom. Llewellyn.com is on this one. There's another one, usgamesinc.com, because you can see this box is from 2004. If you look up Ciro Marchetti, though, in tarot, I think you'll easily find stuff by Ciro, because I think they're very active still. They have more than this deck, that's for sure. And I think the other deck is from within the last 5 years that I have from them. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. Here's some websites for them: ToriHartman.com, WatkinsPublishing.co.uk or .com. Feel free to freeze frame there if you want any of that information. Alright, what do we have for Aries? You had a card like pop out and it's face down, and I'm really wanting to know what it is. Because it kind of like, it jabbed me in the hand. I was like, alright, this card wants out. What is it? What's the deal? The card is the Hierophant, but it's upside down. Which, this would see, like, to me this is like breaking a pattern or walking away from a commitment, is what I would think it was. Faith is also, this is like highlighting it. I did do that one face down too, I'm noticing. Maybe it's time to break a commitment and realize that maybe that's for the best. The Hierophant sometimes talks about Taurus energy. Taurus is not a fan of breaking commitment. So I'm just thinking, when I'm seeing this come in upside down with the Faith, it's kind of like, I don't like the idea of walking out on my responsibilities, but it's questioning, like, what is the responsibility? Is this like a business thing to where maybe the situation is kind of like, you know what, I get paid as much as everybody else does, so I don't know. You have to decide what the responsibility is. Because I feel like it's walking away from a responsibility and realizing maybe that's the best course of action. I don't know. We have to see what's going on a little farther. I'm kind of. That's not what I think of. Like, Aries is very, like, respectable. If this is how it is, you're going to say how it is. If you're going to stick with something, you're going to tell somebody and you're going to be honest. But also, Aries is the one, though, if somebody changes the rules, it's kind of like, all right, I'm going to let you know that because you changed those rules, that changes the whole thing. I was committed to the way it was, and you've changed the game. That changes the whole situation. So that's the thing with Aries. If somebody else changes the rules, you're like, well, if you have the right to change the rules, so do I. I can change what I committed to, because if you changed what this situation was, that's not what I committed to, so everything is changing now. Aries, the Aries energy, that's on the Emperor. Somebody feels like they know how you work and that they can keep you stuck in something because they feel like they know what they need to do to keep you committed to it. I feel like they think they know your rules. Okay. Alright. Whatever this is, I feel like I keep getting it's something about knowing when it's time to call it quits. Ooh, that feels heavy. That feels really heavy. Because something is stagnating. Something is very... On your side, I'm getting the Two of Swords and the Hanged Man. Something is stagnating. I don't feel like you like this. And it never improves. It's like it never gets better, but it never gets worse. And I'm not liking it. And it's kind of like... You have... Aries, see, to me, Aries is good with commitments. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. But once somebody else changes the rules, well, all bets are off. If you can change the rules, so can I. But this person, I don't know if this is romance or work. It could go, it's a general read, so it depends on how you're connecting to it. They seem to be working within your parameters, yet they're pushing the envelope just close enough without changing the situation. See, I feel like they're playing the game here. They're pushing it just far enough to get away with stuff, but not far enough to where they're breaking rules. not far enough to where they're breaking rules. This energy is just I don't trust it. I don't trust it. It's weird to me. Take it with a grain of salt. You have the King of Pentacles, they have the Queen of Pentacles. Don't get caught up in the gender, but they're saying this is very compatible, yet it's not working, which confuses me. It's like building a house on sand. It doesn't feel to me like it's really stable. It may look like it's stable. Maybe it looks like it's on a solid piece of land, but it's actually on sand. This does not feel right to me. I feel like something here, somebody is just like, they're using the situation to their benefit and you don't really know what's going on here, which is really interesting. I think of Aries as like very sharp and you notice things. And just because you may not say something doesn't mean you didn't notice it. But this person they're getting around your defense systems. Really? They're playing with fire if that's what they're doing. That is literally playing with fire. Aries is fire. I'm not a fan of this. Something isn't right. I keep getting something isn't right because they're using the situation to their advantage and they just keep drawing it out and it's working, but see, it's working more for them than it is for you. You know what I mean? What I keep feeling, what I'm actually feeling now, this reminds me of like when you sign into a contract when you're young and it seems like a good idea, but like 10 years later you really discover what you're worth and you're like, that was a bad deal. I just didn't know it at the time. I thought it was a good deal. It's like through what I've learned and through how I've grown, it might be even that. Through the last 10 years, you've grown to the part where the value you had 10 years ago, maybe this deal was valid. The value you have now, this isn't right. This isn't right. You're worth a lot more than you're getting. I don't think you're really happy with this, whatever it is. That's the problem. This is not, whatever it is, you're not happy with it. You got soulmate card with the Ten of Swords. Whatever it is, this situation does not make you happy and you do want to change. Another analogy I'm getting is maybe you're connected into something where there's a certain job you have that pays a certain amount of money and you're like, I have to keep going with this job because this is how I make my living. This is like, it's almost like you went to school for like mechanics or industrial engineering or something. So it's very specific. So you know what you're doing and it's very specific and you're like, I don't really like this anymore, but this is how I make my money. This is where I have my education. If I go into some other thing, I'm not going to make nearly as much money. If I go into some other vocation, or if I go back to school, I have to go back to school to make something happen different. The thing is, maybe it's time to look at like, if you're not really happy, is the money you're making from this really worth it? Do you have the option to maybe downsize? Or I have known people that have like, they have had those really nice houses and they've had the life that went along with it, decided they didn't really like that life or the job they had that afforded that life, so they sold the house, got a much cheaper place to live, and then moved on from that way of living altogether. They don't make nearly as much as they used to, but they're a lot happier. Sometimes that's quite the challenge. Sometimes that is quite the challenge when you get used to a certain standard of living and you have to like, well, if I want to change this part of my life, I might have, like, if I want to change like how I make a living, I probably have to change how I live. How do I balance that out? Do I want to do that? And if I'm going to do that, how do I start moving towards it to where I'm happier? Because I definitely want to move towards something that I'm going to be happier. I don't want to make all these changes and not be any happier, just feel the same I do now. If I can make these changes and actually be happier, how do I start moving towards it? Whatever this is, if it's going to hit with, for the people it's going to hit with, there's something or someone you're not happy with. And it's kind of like, it's time to really kind of look at the situation and just kind of let it go through your brain. Fair warning, if you let it go through your brain, you might actually do it. So maybe that's why you're not thinking about it. What would it look like if I did make changes? What would it, if I changed how I make a living, if I changed being with this person, if I removed this friend from my life because I really am not happy with them? what would my life look like after that? Because I feel like once you start looking at what it would look like with the changes in effect, you might start working towards making those changes. Something here just doesn't feel right to me. I don't like it. I feel like if you want to be truly happy with whatever it is, it's time to make those changes. It'll be a stressful road, but I don't really think of Aries as shying down from a challenge. You want to truly be happy, you got to go through the stress. But the the Ten of Wands is like, it's a high level of stress, but it's a high level of stress that leads to success and joy. You got all this that's coming. It's out there. It's possible if you choose it. If you don't want to go through this high level of stress to get there, that is completely your business. Obviously, this is a general read. But if it's hitting and you're like, but I don't want to do it, then don't do it. Then you don't do it. That's it. That's it. I feel like they're just saying it's there. If you want it, it's there. It's going to be stressful, but you can do it, and you'll be a lot happier on the other side. You don't want to do that, then you don't do that. That's that. Anything else? It's that breaking of the commitment. I feel like a lot of you, it's a vocation thing, but it could be something else. So you decide what's right for you. If that's hitting, I feel like if those of you it's going to work for you, you're going to know what it is. All right, so I'm going to shut it down there, finally. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.